نشهد عليهم بكفر ولا بشرك ولا بنفاق. As long as they pray our qibla and eat من أكل ذبيحتنا وصلى إلى قبلتنا, right? If they eat what we eat, the sacrifice, our meat, and if they pray our prayer, they're from the Muslims. So he's saying, we don't testify, we do not specify anyone among them to be either in paradise or hell. We do not accuse any of them of disbelief, idolatry, or hypocrisy, as long as none of that manifests from them. And that would be the prerogative of the judge or something. So there is apostasy in Islam, but you have to be very careful, because if you're not an alim, you can't make that assessment. And people are brought before courts traditionally for apostasy. وَلَمْ يَظْهَرْ مِنْهُمْ شَيْءٌ مِّنْ ذَلِكَ وَنَظَرُوا سَرَائِرَهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ. We leave their inner states, we resign their inner states to Allah, the Sublime, the Exalted. وَلَا نَرَى السَّيْفَ عَلَى أَحَدٍ مِّنْ أُمَّةِ مُحَمَّدٍ. We do not consider violence or coercive power against anyone from the community of Muhammad. This is Aqidah. This is actually what the Muslims believe, right? This is one of our earliest dogmatic texts, creedal texts of Aqidah. And it's agreed upon by all the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The Salafis use this text. There's some difference about how we interpret these meanings, but and that's why I translated it, because it is the agreed upon text of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Nobody differs about the things in this text. There's some slight interpretive differences. The Ash'aris, there's 4 masail in here that Ash'aris traditionally might have differed on, but the text is accepted. It's taught in places where Salafi texts are taught. So this is وَلَا نَرَى السَّيْفَ عَلَى أَحَدٍ مِّنْ أُمَّةِ مُحَمَّدٍ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم إِلَّا مَنْ وَجَبَ عَلَيْهِ السَّيْفِ. Here's the problem. That's called mustathna, right? The istithna. This is where everything happens. Who interprets إِلَّا مَنْ وَجَبَ عَلَيْهِ السَّيْفِ? And this is where all the khilaf come from. So the Khawarij say, وَاجِبَ عَلَيْنَا أَن نَخْرُجَ عَلَيْهِمْ. That's what the Khawarij say. So that's why the Prophet said, إِذَا اخْتَلَفْتُمْ فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالسَّوَادِ الْعَظَمِ. When there's differences, go with the majority, the jama'ah, and what the ulama say. And that's not the masses. Imam Malik, إِذَا قَالَ النَّاسِ قَصَدَ الْعُلَمَاءِ. If he said, النَّاسُ عِنْدَنَا, people in our community do this, he meant the ulama, the scholars. So this is not for the ammi. Oh, you say, well, the majority of people are pro going against the government. No. You have to look, what do the musnadun amongst the ulama? The ulama in the tradition, يَحْمِلُ هَذَا الْعِلْمِ مِنْ كُلِّ قَرْنٍ عُدُولُهُ. That this knowledge is carried in each generation by upright people. What do they say? What do those ulama say? Because they will always exist in our ummah until the end. Those scholars will always exist. And you have to ask them what they say about this. Now, sometimes, to be fair, you will get people in that who will say, we should do that. And this is where the confusion comes. That's why fitna is called fitna, because even the ulama get caught up in it. And this is why in times of fitna, some people chose to just back out. Some of the Sahaba did not get involved in Muawiyah and Ali's conflict, even though we are Shia to Ali, right? We're with the Shia of Ali. Not the Rawafida, right? But the Shia of Ali, that group was on the haqq. The people that stood by Ali, they were on the haqq. Both had ijtihad, but the Shia of Ali, the Shia just meant the group, the supporters. It became a political term later, but during that period, it just meant the group that was with Ali, Shia to Ali. And our ulama determined that they were rightly guided in that khilaf. The difference between us and the Rawafida, who later are identified as the Shia, is that they rejected the ijtihad of Muawiyah and just threw him out of Islam, and rejected Abu Bakr and Umar, and that's rafd. It's to reject that. That's different from supporting Ali. And so that That is the real first major fitna. So some of the ulama of the Sahaba, like Abdullah ibn Umar, some of them said, I'm not going to fight with Muslims. And they backed out. That is an ijtihad. Muawiyah's group made ijtihad, Amr ibn al-As. Ali made ijtihad. Who was right? Our ulama later, after the event, said Ali's ijtihad was the correct ijtihad. But they said that Muawiyah was making an ijtihad. Each one of them was trying to preserve. So this is the difference. And then he says, وَلَا نَرَى الْخُرُوجَ عَلَىٰ أَئِمَّتِنَا وَوُلَاةِ أُمُورِنَا وَإِنْ جَارُوا. We do not accept any rebellion against our leaders or the administrators of our public affairs, even if they are oppressive. This is the aqeedah of the Muslims. I mean, this is the aqeedah. So what am I supposed to do with a statement like that? If you tell me we have to go out against the government, and our Salaf said, and they all agreed that this was rightly guided, they said, وَلَا نَرَى الْخُرُوجَ عَلَىٰ أَئِمَّتِنَا وَوُلَاةِ أُمُورِنَا وَإِنْ جَارُوا. Even if they're oppressive, why did he put that in there? وَإِنْ جَارُوا. He could have just said, وَلَا نَرَى الْخُرُوجَ عَلَىٰ أَئِمَّتِنَا وَوُلَاةِ أُمُورِنَا. But he put in وَإِنْ جَارُوا because he knew people are going to come along and say لَكِنْ هُمْ جَارُوا عَلَيْنَا لَا يَجُوزُ يَحِقُّ لَنَا أَن نَخْرُجَ عَلَيْهِمْ لَا وَإِنْ جَارُوا وَإِنْ جَارُوا. Even if they, and jawr is the worst thing. In fact, لا يستقيم الدولة بالجور. I mean, our ulama said eventually jawr will end dynasties because it's adala. You know, Aristotle said a very interesting thing. He said, الحكومة مبنية على عدالة والعدالة مبنية على جيش قوة. Right? You have to have, in order to establish justice, you have to have power to do it. والجيش مبني على التجار. Right? Because you have to fund your army, and so you need taxes and you need to support, right? وَالتُّجَّارِ مَبْنِيٌ عَلَى السُّوقِ. And the tujar have to have a marketplace for them to transact. وَالسُّوقِ مَبْنِيَةٌ عَلَى الْعَدَالَةِ. And the suq is based on justice. So it's a da'ira. Justice is what maintains everything. It maintains the marketplace. It maintains the government, it maintains the soldiers, it maintains the tujar. Without justice, none of these, you'll always have khalal. And so this is why adala is so important in our religion. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى.